On this breed, they're kept pretty natural, but we do the feet. So first I'm going to show you how to trim the nails, which I recommend doing at least once a month. If you don't trim your toenails enough, the quick, which is the vein inside that nail, will grow longer, and you'll end up with a nail that's actually longer than when you started. So by trimming this back, you help keep that quick back, and you keep a shorter nail. If you get these nails too long, they'll get too long and they cause pressure on the toe. See, the toe, the way the foot is working, if this nail is too long, it's going to cause that foot to arch backwards, and that can actually cause the foot to splay or cause some arthritis in those joints. And you don't want to do that, especially with the big breeds, because they already have trouble sometimes with their hips and joints because of their sizes. So you want to keep this feet really well cared for. You can either use a nail cutter. I like this type of cutter. There's lots of nail cutters on the market. I like these the best. With him, his nails, he was just neutered, so the vet has done his nails. They're not very long. So with him, he barely needs them tipped. And in a case like him, I wouldn't even cut. I would use a grinder, which you can buy grinders that are made for dogs' nails, or you can use a little mini Dremel that you can pick up at a hardware store. Or you can actually go to like Sally's, a good hair supply store, beauty store, and get a really good heavy-grained nail file and use that. Be careful, they do cause heat, they do cause friction, so you want to do them quickly, and you don't want to get too deep, because if you nick the quick with this, it will maybe cauterize it and it won't bleed and you won't know it, so you couldn't cause it to get infected. So don't go any shorter than you really need to. I'm going to tip this nail. I kind of use a circular motion. And by using a Dremel, you actually do a better nail trim because it makes it real smooth versus breaking. He has white nails, so when I look at his foot, I can see where the vein is because there's pink, and then it turns into a white nail. You don't want to go into the pink, you'll make him bleed. Actually, the nail has a hook on it as it grows. You need to cut it to where the white part of the nail ends and the hook starts coming out. Stay in front of that slightly, and most of the time you can get it right there. Black nails are harder because you can't see it quick, so what I try to do with the black nail is to cut it slowly and tease it back. And when you look at the underside of the nail, you'll see a white circle. Once you see that little white circle, you stop, because that's the quick. Typically the nails on a dog are shorter in the back than the front, because when they walk, their back legs are what drives them forward, so it causes these nails to stay shorter usually. When I trim nails, I usually start with the back ones first, because they're usually well behaved for the back ones. They can't see me as well. Also, you'll notice with grooming, you have to get into a lot of really awkward positions sometimes just to get the job done. The big part of grooming is handling this animal, teaching him that he will do it. Now, in the front paws, a lot of dogs have what's called a dew claw. It's like a thumb, and it sits up, up. When the foot's down, it sits up higher off of the toes. So feel the feet and make sure, because these nails tend to not get worn down naturally very well. And I've seen some that have actually made corkscrews, or they've grown into a circular pattern and they end up going back into the pad, and they actually grow into the pad and cause a wound. Some dogs have dew claws on the back, so also check this dog for them just in the back. And I've also seen dogs with multiple dew claws. They'll have 2 or 3 dew claws on one foot. So just take your hand and run it up here and make sure that you notice if he has one or not. And in one word, with a Dremel, you have to be really careful because he has long hair on his feet, and you can catch the hair in that Dremel and it'll pull it. So these nails are black in the front. And you'll see some of these dogs, like these tri-colored dogs or party-colored dogs, they'll have nails that are white and black. So like I said, just on the other foot, I'll try to cut it with a cutter so you can see how that works. All I'm doing is cutting the tip with this. It's like a little scissor action. Stop. If for some reason you nick a nail and it starts to bleed, don't fret. They don't bleed to death. That's an old wives' tale. They're simply a vein, just like any other vein in your body, and you can stop the bleeding. There's a product called styptic powder we buy. It's called Quick Stop. It's a yellow powder. It comes in a little, I'll show you up close what it looks like. It's just a little yellow powder. What it helps to do is clot the blood. So if he was to have a nail get nicked, you can either do it dry or you can use like a Q-tip and wet it and stick it in here. I use it dry, but you just take it and you pack it on the nail, and use a little bit of finger pressure and push it. And if it continues to bleed, continue to add the styptic powder until it stops bleeding. Every now and then you get one that really, oh dear, you get one that bleeds and bleeds and bleeds, but you know, they do stop. Also at home, if you don't have styptic powder, you can use flour or you can use cornstarch. They also help. And in a really pinch, I've used a Dove bar soap and stuffed the nail into the soap. That'll help. But flour is sterile from the milling process, so you can use it, you know, usually pretty safely. Now, when on a dog like this, we're gonna
Calm down.
get our clipper out with the number 10 blade or a 15. But for the people at home, I recommend just use a 10. It clips the hair longer than a 15. So you turn the foot upside down, and you'll see he has hair that grows in the pads. And you know, in the wintertime, if you live in a snow area, the snow will pack into that hair, and this also causes brings in weeds and dirt and stuff. So, and dogs do get this hair matted. I've had dogs where they can hardly walk on their feet. They're so sore from matted hair. So, turn it upside down. And I kind of like to hold the feet together at first and clipper the hair along the edges of the little pad. And you can scoop out in between that little V in there. Don't go deep in there. You don't want to cut that webbing in there. That's very sensitive, and it's very painful to have to walk on a cut foot. So you go back through and just kind of briefly trim that up. And like you can see, he doesn't like this. Dog feet are very sensitive, and they're very ticklish. So some of these dogs don't really enjoy this very much. But he'll get used to it after he's had it done a few times. Hey, buddy. And I try to go just along the little circular pads. I don't do the outer edges of the foot yet. We're going to do that in the scissors. No. What you do with the foot is back brush the hair. We call this back brushing when we go in the opposite direction.
No.
And you lift it up, and you take your thinning shear,
No.
and you scissor this hair. Oh, baby. He's not going to let it go. Do you want a scissor?
No.
And you scissor this hair. When you're using a thinning shear, you want to kind of do it a wispy motion and pull out, because your idea with a thinning shear is to get it to look really natural. It doesn't take out as much hair as a scissor. I'll show you real quick what I do. I take the hair and I comb it down, and I first I first edge along the toes. And do cut your nails before you do the scissor work, because you know you want the nail to be short, otherwise your scissor will be cutting into it. I take the long wispy hairs and the angles that you go, you have to vary.
Settle down.
This may be the very first time he's had this done, and he's just not going to try it. Sometimes if they sit and you can pull the leg forward like this, it's easier.
There you go. Lay down. That's
So we just scissor this around and make it look neat. And since he's got some matting in between those toes, I'm going to go in there a little bit and cut that out so he doesn't have to go through too much more brushing. I think he's had enough. And when I'm done, I go back through and I just get the little parts underneath here. I back brush the hair in the pad and scissor it. We do this on a lot of breeds. Almost all breeds get their feet done, have hair in them.